Good morning. I want to comment on the last part of Psalm 86 today. I didn't get to do it in the last one, but I want to say it today. It's this beautiful prayer of, Lord, hear my prayer, have mercy on me. Establishing God's character, you're forgiving and good. You hear, you respond. Establishing that there are no gods like God. There's only one God. God's the only God. God's the only one we can bring our prayer request to and have him respond. This prayer for us to have an undivided heart, so even the things that we pray are according to God's will. John says, if we pray anything according to his will, we know already that we have that thing. Then this beautiful description of God where it's really in the collective thinking, imagination, and memory of Israel. You, Lord, are compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. But it's this last verse, in verse 16 and 17, that I want to comment on. Turn to me and have mercy on me. Show me your strength in behalf of your servant. Save me because I serve you just as my mother did. I don't know why that strikes me as just unbelievably precious. But he's talking about his heritage of faith, being taught to pray and think a certain way by his mom. He's thinking fondly about that person that put this faith as a construct in my heart. And now I operate it, and I have the same expectation that my mother had, that you, Lord, the God that is compassionate and loving and good, will respond. And I love that it says, verse 17, give me a sign of your goodness. There's a history there of God showing up for his family. He's asking for that same thing. Now, you may come from a family where you're the first believer or your parents weren't believing. But what you will have is you have spiritual fathers and mothers that led you to the faith. I have never met anybody that kind of came to faith in a complete vacuum. Invariably, there are people that God gives them to shape their imagination, to open up their vision and see, and their heart. So, in some ways, if you say today, my mother and father didn't serve the Lord, it's okay. You will have somebody that was a spiritual father or mother to you, and they taught you to expect that the God who's full of love and compassion responds when we pray, and that you can look to him for a sign of your goodness. So maybe today, stop and think about your heritage of faith and how it came through to you, and who was it that influenced you, and what did they teach you, and how did they give you an appropriate expectation of God as to reading the scriptures and gaining real truth and wisdom, so that you go out into the world and believe those things about God, expecting him to do in your life those things that show how much he loves you. Think about those people and maybe take a minute and be grateful. Grace and peace to you.